Hey YouTube. So the other day I got a check in the mail from a guy, and what he wanted was he wanted me to make him a set of bevel siding cutters. Now this is the channel. It's a 2x5, or not channel, but 2x5 beam that runs through for the bunk rail. Now he has a different type of sawmill, and his sawmill uses a 3-inch by 1/4 inch thick angle iron for the bunk rails. And let me just show you here. I've come up with a way that I want to these yellow lines on this one here. This is the bunk rail that Wood Miser has. So I've made a lot of these, and then I put the bevel siding cutter on the top of this and attach it. So they work good. I've had no problem with them. I've had no complaints from anybody, and they just seem to be an easy, quick way of making bevel siding. Even though you can do it a lot of different ways, this is just a nice little tool that's always keeping itself right, so that you can continue to make bevel siding when you're cutting it. So anyway, that's like I say, the 2x5 that is on the Wood Miser. But this other fella here has this type of a angle here. This is his bunk rail. So what I want to do is I want to make a frame that's going to attach to this rail here in a good way without drilling anything, without having to weld anything after the fact. Just set it down and we'll go with it. So now, even though I drew these yellow lines on here and they're like away from this, I'm actually going to have that very close to this thing. So something like let me just move this over a little bit. I mean, you can barely see it, and if I click on there, the line's going to go onto the red, but actually I want it where it is at the moment. I'm just not counting that or measuring anything there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this so that this is against this side. This top here would be against the top of the angle. In other words, right here, this would be down on. And then I want this to be down on the bottom part of the angle, right here. And then this side, I want to be, let me just back up here a second. I want to be against this, so that when you push this down on, this will be snug, this will be against this. This on top of here will hold this level. And then I can go ahead and put the bevel siding on jig on top of that. You need something to hold them on there. So I forgot what the name of his sawmill was. If he watches the video, maybe he'll put it up there for us and the model number. And then if you guys have this same type of sawmill and you were wanting a jig for cutting bevel siding, if you want to buy one from me, I would, you get a hold of me on my bullseyemickey@gmail.com, and I can, talk to you about the price and stuff. And depending upon where you live or whatever, I can make it for you, and what type of a mill you have. So anyway, I picked up the metal for this today, and this is the type of frame that I'm going to make for underneath the bevel siding cutter. Okay, so like I say, the one for the Wood Miser looks like this, but because this has an angle, a 3-inch angle here, it has to be made slightly different. So I'm going to make it so that it's snug against here, snug against there, and it's still that U sort of shape, but then I need this on here to hold this up. Now I could probably come over here and maybe take this side, come down through here, and maybe have them bolt that together, but I don't want them to have to do any drilling or anything. I just want them to take what I send them and be able to set it right onto the sawmill and take it off easily without having to use any tools. So that's what I'm working on for the next couple days, and then I'll mail that out to the guy who has bought it. So anyway, like I say, I'm not sure what size, what type of sawmill it is. but that is what the bunk rail's made out of, a 3" by 3", a 1/4 of an inch thickness angle iron. So I'm using 3/16 steel to make this, which will be more than enough to be able to cover itself, because it only has to stay square on here. It's not really it takes the weight, but the weight goes right down onto the angle iron. So it really doesn't have to take a lot of weight, just so it sits on the angle iron good. So anyway, that's what I'll be working on for the next couple days, and I'll show it to you as I go, and we'll see how this is going to work. So the way now he had said to me this is a 3" angle, 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch thickness. Now the way that these angles work, and this is how I'm designing this, is from this point to this point is 3 inches. From this point to this point is 3 inches. Now on the inside here it's not 3 inches, because you're a 1/4 inch off here and you're a 1/4 of an inch off there to get to the inside measurement. So that has to be taken into consideration as I, cut and weld these pieces together. So anyway, that's what the newest project is. It's a new bevel siding cutter for a different kind of a mill besides Wood-Mizer. So then that's what that angle iron looks like, with a little bit of length added to it. All I did was take that out there. You take the actual angle, not change anything, and just extend lines out from there. And it gives you like a 3D effect to it. So let me just go back and turn that yellow. Okay, so get rid of this side. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, this is the shape that I want to have over that. And then if I was to, let me just change this here. I'm going to go back to the yellow, and I'm doing it with one hand here. That's why I'm having a little bit of a headache. But okay, so then this angle would look something similar to this, and the corner would be up here, so that, and then it would come back to meet this in like a square type thing. I'm just going to draw the extended legs on there for a second. We don't even need that one actually. This one down here would be something like this. Yeah, let me just move this over a little bit here. Just to get this out of the way for a second. Okay. Alright, so this would come straight across here. I'm not going to draw that in. And then this would be one whole side. So it's going to be 8 inches long. So this will be one side, come down here. You won't be able to see the red in there. But that's how that's going to fit on there. And then this end that's up in here, that does come straight across. And it would be probably something, well, I could draw it like that for now. Has to go out a little bit. Doing this with two hands is hard. Doing it with one is really hard. Alright, so anyway, this back end here, this top, would hit the stop, the little metal stop that's on the top of a bunk rail that stops them from going too far. You know, the log from going too far. So anyway, that's what that would look like. And like I say, the bevel siding cutter, or the bevel siding jig, whatever you want to call it, would be on the top of that. So that's how I'm going to make that. And like I say, it would be snug against here. And we should be in good shape with that. If you have any comments you want to make about it, go ahead and make them. If you can, clearly define what you're trying to tell me about it, that would be good. And then I could maybe change this or whatever. But I think that this is the best way to go to just set it down on and keep, go cut. Just keep cutting. You don't have to fool with it. I don't want to have to bolt it in place or anything. I just want to set it on and take it off, just like that. So, like I said, I'll show you this as I go, and we'll see how it comes out, in real life here. So I'm just giving myself a rough idea of how I want to do this tomorrow. Like I say, I had already bought the metal for it today. Alright guys, so we're supposed to have a snowstorm tonight. They're calling for 9 inches of snow, which I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody else said rain, so we got to see what's going to happen. So anyway, that's part of the new style bevel siding jig that you'll be able to use for a different type of a sawmill, the type that has a 3-inch angle iron for the bunk rail. And have a good one, guys. Bye.